Hi everyone, Julia from Adiabella Rises. I'm not sure if Parmina and I will get to do our weekly chat this week as she's off on a course today, so it might not get done. But I've been having this urge over the weekend to create a new little video series within our YouTube channel called Confessionals. So it can be about anything and everything. And hopefully Parmina will jump on board as well. But today I wanted to speak about a quote that I've been really hearing the last week or so that has really got me thinking about where I'm at really, because the quote's something I never ever thought that I would be comfortable using or would want to use. So the quote's let go and let God. So here's a confession. I've never been religious. My family's not religious. I've never really gone to church. I've never read the Bible. Don't get me wrong. I've seen chapters here and there, but I've never have gotten into the Bible. I always knew that there was something out there. Whether it was God or whatever was debatable. But yeah, I've never been that way inclined, and it's only since sort of my very big spiritual awakening, I guess, that my views started shifting. And it wasn't that they started shifting as much. I think the biggest thing for me that I don't appreciate and I don't understand is that and hopefully I don't rattle too many little chains here, but I don't appreciate what some humans have put onto the preachings of God and Jesus and so forth. They don't want to create a divide. They don't want to think of one man better than the other. All of upstairs just wants love, light, and for you to connect back to source. And unfortunately, there's been religions that have twisted it to how they want it to be. So that's why I've never really been into all of it. I've started to believe more in some of the stuff as my history comes to light, and the fact that, you know, I have guided some of the saints and so forth. So the stories are starting to come back to me, and I'm realizing that what I wasn't feeling comfortable with was the twist that was put on it. So when I say let go and let God, it's just a very simple allowing and a surrendering to upstairs. So rather than saying I let go and give it all to the universe, or I let go and give it all to my guides or whoever's up there watching over me, it's just a simple process to encompass all of that, because sometimes it can get a mouthful to say I let go and give it all to the universe, and I know that my guides have got my back and they'll bring whatever comes forward, and I know that angels are there looking after me and all the ascended masters. So when you say I let go and let God, you are giving them all of that. You're knowing that those upstairs, for your highest good, have your back. They know what's good for you. They know what's right for you, and they'll bring something probably even bigger and better than what you've ever thought. So, because let's face it, the universe, Jesus, your guides, angels, ascended masters, anyone who's up there is God. It's God's little playground up there. You know, it's all of his, the same as we are all of his. So to say let go and let God is just surrendering to all that is and knowing that they've got you. So it's been really powerful for me. One, it's connecting back with my family very significantly. And it's also just fully surrendering to realizing that everything that ever got my back up against saying God or anything like that, it wasn't about them. It was about how my ego and how I felt in response to people that base religion and wars around something that's so beautiful. You know, I've been a part of so many wars and so many absolutely horrible things that has come, not always, but has come through that person's ego twisting religion or wanting something that's not really theirs to take and so forth like that. So I always shied away from it, always. Like I said, I knew that there was something more out there. I knew I was always spiritual, but I didn't want to believe in all the teachings because I thought, well, if that's the case, then all of these churches that turn people away because of who they love or what they look like or anything like that, it means that that's all real, and it's really not. When you're surrendering to God, you're surrendering to the universe, and you're surrendering to all of that bloody amazing stuff that can come into your life when you do it. You know, we're all a piece of God. That eternal connection that connects us to source is God. You know what I mean? And it's not for us to hate that. It's not for us to twist that. It's just for us to come back to that and feel it with love and light and compassion, rather than what is it going to get me? You know, all of those ego ways of being. So it's been a real eye-opener to have this saying come to me. And again, I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers because, and I don't knock religion, but for me, yeah, for me I'm glad that some people are able to have their faith, but some of the teaching and the practices have really been twisted, and that's really what I really don't like. So again, saying let go and let God has been so therapeutic for me. So if you don't think that you like saying the word God or anything like that, ask yourself why. Is it something similar to me where you don't really believe in and agree with everything that people in religion, and many different religions, it's not just one or two of them, they've all sort of twisted it to how they want it to be known. But ask yourself, is it that reason, or is it an entirely different reason? You know, just have a think about it. And really, now at the end of all of my journaling, I say, I surrender, I allow, I let go, and I let God. And it just encompasses everything. So give it a go. Ask yourself, if there is that bit of resistance, why? You know, like I said, I haven't never been a non-believer in the Bible, but I just couldn't wrap my head around how it was sometimes misdiagnosed, I guess. But again, now that the lives that I've guided are coming back to me and my heritage is coming back to me, I realise it's not about any of that. It's about love and light and finding your way back to that sacred part of you that is connected to above. So think about what let go and let God means to you. Like I said, I'm in no way religious. I could count how many times I've been to a church for their services, and most of the time it's usually been a wedding or a christening or something like that. You know, I'm not christened myself. I'm very on the fence about all of that, but I realize now what held me back from being so in love with saying God and so in love with everything like that. But when they keep coming to visit you and Jesus is standing right next to you, helping you with things, and some of the other big players in the Bible are around, you've got to realize that, okay, perhaps there is something in this, you know. There really has to be, because I can't make this shit up. You know what I mean? It's just, it's there and it's happening. So have a think about it. Say let go and let God, and just see what comes to you. Because for me, it's been a big of just connecting back with God in the universe, just, and everything that encompasses that. Because like I said, it's God's playground. We're all a part of God's playground. You know, it's not meant to be defined for someone or another. It's beautiful. So that's my confessions. A guardian angel who's not religious, and a guardian angel that's had to query a lot of things before she could believe. So you're not alone in that, but just know that all these misconceived ideas on what God wants and who Jesus is and all of these things, just remember that human ego comes into play with that. It's not all of it has come from a place of love and light. Some of it has, and some of it is just a little bit misplaced. But if you're turning away from saying let go and let God, don't. Because honestly, it just encompasses everything spiritual, everything divine, everything love and peace, and all of those good jujus that are just begging to be asked to come into your life. So ponder it, sit on it and say, how do I feel when I say let go and let God? Am I letting these misconceived ideas skew how I feel about it? What's the story behind it? And then really let go and let God, because they know what's best for you. Your wildest dreams that you could, and fantasies that you could possibly think for yourself, I can tell you they've got bigger and better ideas for you than what you could ever possibly imagine. So let go and let God. Till next time, keep walking your spiritual path.